Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the
Natural
Porn
porn
Hunter.
hunter.
Restart.
What did I sign
Natural
up for?
welcome. Oh boy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Natural Born Hunter podcast. I'm your host, Will Bradley. And we have on the show Justin Coots from Boston Bowhunter, and accompanying him is longtime Northeast hunter, star of the film Wingprint, Jake Bennett.
Woo!
Boys, how you doing today?
How come I have to accompany him? How come he doesn't accompany me?
Because he's
Sorry,
just so
bud.
good looking.
Hey, the shoe fits.
I always introduce the handsome guy first. That's why Phil's usually the first one when he's here.
Big sexy dude.
Okay, I can accept that.
That's right.
Doing fine today. Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. So you're both northeastern hunters, and here in the Northeast and throughout most of the country, turkey season is either starting to get fired up or it's about to get fired up. Let's talk a little your plans for this turkey season.
You go first, Justin.
Well,
Justin's plans are to go with me hunting.
oh, here we go. No, Jake wants me to go with him hunting because he wants me to shoot his gun. This thing it's a myth. It's slayed, I don't know what, 12, 14 birds last season.
Well, the gun I made last year.
Yeah.
I can't say I made a shotgun. I bought like a home tactical defense shotgun for like cheap, like $300, semi-auto, and I turned it into a turkey slaying machine.
Shouldn't you guys be bow hunting? I mean, this is Boston bow hunter, Mr. Jake.
That's what I said.
I
went
do
last
bow
year.
hunt for turkeys occasionally. It's just
Occasionally.
I went hunting last year. I shot my turkey with a bow.
don't make me tell that's not cool.
What? Okay, granted. So I
Did you
shot
have
my
to
turkey
back
with
up,
a
shoot it with the bow.
No.
no. So here's a funny story. So, actually, it's stupid. Shot my turkey with a bow. Go over to him, like, oh, great. Turkey's dead. Here we go. Throw it over the shoulder. Get a little action shot. So I'm walking back to my truck, throw it in the truck. I feel something moving. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So all of a sudden, my turkey wakes up. My buddy snaps a picture as it's happening. And I'm holding this thing like this as it's trying to fly away. The spurs are digging into my wrists. So I'm not even sure of what to do. So I just go, boom, slap its head off the ground. It's knocked out again. Unfortunately, I had to take it to the truck and, give him the cut. But yeah, that was an interesting scene in itself. But
I'm gonna start a slow clap because it's epic.
Dude,
Stupid.
so you knocked the turkey out twice.
yeah,
And
I
then
literally-
kill
If
him?
we had a dry erase board right here that said reasons not to bow hunt for turkeys, that'd be one reasons not to.
The
it's
only reason. It'd be the
it's
only
funny.
No.
Funny too
Listen,
because
well, Will, the difference. I mean, you live in upstate New York. I grew up in upstate New York. Turkey hunt. Everybody turkey hunts with a gun.
fifth best turkey hunting in the U.S., apparently, according to some recent surveys.
Recent, it used to be a lot better. That really bad winter a few years ago knocked down the. I mean, I don't know where you are, but up where
This
I'm
winter
in.
might have been rough, too, for him.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen a lot out.
the difference being is out here in Massachusetts, we have multiple towns that are no discharge of firearms. You can't shoot a gun in. So the turkey population there has absolutely flourished. Or you're within distance of like a bird feeder, and it is actually harder. I find it harder to kill a turkey with a gun than I do with a bow. Here, it's just because the turkeys you're gonna be bow hunting have never been hunted before in their life.
I don't think you swayed me from it being a good idea to hunt turkey with a bow.
This is
So-
true.
admittedly, that was my first turkey kill. And I have to say, it was interesting because I realized these things, their feathers are they're like armor. Like I remember I pulled back and I got a turkey coming in. I pull back, about to launch on it, let go, and it just looks over, dank, arrow gone. Just deflects the arrow, doesn't even penetrate it, nothing. And it just, nothing at all. So I'm like, okay, what the hell was that? I just dropped it. I should have dropped this. What the fuck just happened? So, I knock another one, draw back, shot it. I penetrated this time, and it was messed up, and waited for a couple minutes, and Well, we thought it was dead. I went over, threw it over the shoulder, and you know how that turned out. But yeah, it was an interesting first turkey hunt. But
back to the question at hand. Yeah, I'm gonna bow hunt for turkeys this year quite a bit, but I take out a lot of people for the first time, and I refuse to use a blind when I'm turkey hunting, and just a personal preference. If your woodmanship skills are not like up to par, I mean, hunting turkeys with a bow without a blind, it's a pretty daunting task. It's tough to do, especially when you're trying to film it and without like a slew of decoys. I'm a big fan of. I'm one of those mobile hunters. I like to run and gun, go 100 yards, call, go 100 yards and call, go 100 yards and call, until you strike up a bird that wants to dance. And so I enjoy shooting with a gun. It's pretty definitive if you are shooting with a gun if you get them to come in. That being said, yeah, I bow hunt every year for turkeys, just not 100% of the time.
So what would be your top 3 pieces of advice for somebody who wants to be a successful turkey hunter here in the Northeast?
Persistence. To be honest with you, it takes 10 seconds to turn around the worst day you've had in the woods to the best day. Like, just don't give up hope. If you think you're doing something wrong, change it up a little bit. Just be persistent. One piece of advice is right there. Just, also get out there early. Spend your time in the woods before the season. Learn how birds act. Learn how they move. Learn what they sound like. Try to replicate live hens. And third thing is expectation management. You're not going to kill one every single time you go out. You got to enjoy the small things in life. Mother Nature waking up the world in the morning. There's nothing. I mean, spring at 5:30 in the morning in North America is beautiful.
oh yeah,
It's just gorgeous. Everything. It goes from being dead quiet, all you can hear is peepers, to every single thing in the world waking up. And it's not everybody, and it's not every day that you get to see that. So enjoy everything while you're out there. You're not going to kill one every time.
What would you say is the best spot in these northeastern states to hunt turkey?
The best spot?
If you could only hunt one place for turkey this year, where would you go?
the ones you're not allowed to hunt.
No. For success reasons, or the reason that if they said you can only hunt for one weekend this year, where would you go? I'd go back to New York with my father.
That's right, New York.
In New York. Well, I'll tell you what,
York.
the population in Otsego County sucks right now. It's not nearly what it was. It's just those hills have a lot of memories, of mine. And walking through there and going through and hunting with my dad and running gun with my father, every time we kill one, it's just that much more special,
Mm-hmm.
So, not to be mushy about it.
So what kind of calling technique do you employ for these turkeys?
Every single one under the sun. I'm one of those I'm like one of those diaphragm two or three pot calls in a box call type of guy in the woods every time I go. I'm aggressive.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah, I call a lot and I call loud. My father calls me Thunder Lips.
Thunder Lips.
Yeah.
I like that. That could be a movie in itself.
Yeah. As soon as
What kind of movie?
I think it was. I think it was a movie. It was Hulk Hogan in Rocky V.
That's right. He was Thunder Lips.
Right.
The ultimate male.
That's right. Have you ever sat there and listened to a hen, like when she thinks nothing's around? They're constantly making noise. They're not always just yelping, but they're peeping and purring, and they do that constantly. So even if a gobbler is not near, I'll just scratch a few leaves, little cluck purr. It drives my father nuts because he'll elbow me and say, "You're over calling." Well, it works. So, you got there's two schools of thought on turkey hunting, where my father's the kind that he's gonna stick and stay and make it pay. He'll pick one spot. He'll hunt one bird. The bird answers him in the roost, and you can hear the bird walking away from him. You can just hear him going off. And I'm like, all right, let's move. He goes, nope, he'll be back. Then he'll sit there for 2-3 hours.
Oh.
And it's the most boring hunting ever. But sure as the sky is blue, he'll kill that bird. Right before noon. He'll be sitting there all day, get chewed up by mosquitoes, but he'll kill that bird probably right before noon. Just not my style. I like to hunt.
So who do you think's a better hunter, would you say?
My
Who,
father.
Your dad?
My father. Yeah.
Oh man,
Well,
so humble.
That had to hurt. That had to hurt giving up that one.
No, not at all. Not at all. I wouldn't be what I am if it wasn't for my father. You know,
He's a good man. He's an
and
awesome
all, yeah, and all the you know, and he tolerated me, dude. He let me grow up to be an adult. He didn't kill me at a young age, which he probably should have. I kill more birds than my father does. My father has more patience than I do. That's for a fact. That's a fact.
Bruce Almighty.
Right.
So I noticed there's some large whitetail mounts on the wall behind you, and
Yeah.
as you know, we've got the man from Boston, Bowhunters, here today. Let's get into a little deer hunting, since I mean turkey are great and all.
Yeah.
But let's talk deer season. All
All
right,
right.
you guys, the Northeast, not known for its whitetail deer population, obviously.
Yep.
Right.
However, from pictures I've seen and the evidence on the walls, it would seem you're not hurting for big whitetail.
These are all Kansas bucks.
All of them?
Where did you get those?
Yeah, I bought them on eBay.
eBay?
Internet.
Oh, never mind then. I guess I'll just retract all those statements.
No, I've never hunted anywhere but the Northeast. I've never hunted deer or turkey anywhere but New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire.
So let's get right into it, the nitty gritty of it all. What do people need to do to get big whitetail in the Northeast? Where do they start? Where do they go from there?
You want to answer, Justin?
Well, takes a lot of work, you know. Out here, we have obviously, you know, less of a population than we do, you know, you guys do out in the Midwest. And from what I've gathered in my time hunting, which is, you know, I've only been doing this for probably 7, 8 years now. And it seems like whatever you see people do in the West, that can work. But if you want to be successful, you kind of have to do the opposite. You know, there's a lot of guys, you know, you look at the book Urban Deer Complex and the ideologies that AJ DeRosa presents, and you kind of, you know, if you try to evolve and adapt with those and use those methods, like thinking of how bucks, you know, they're in suburban backyards, you know, they're right in suburbia, and they know that they're safe there because for the majority of the time, you can't hunt there. But if you can find a way to, you know, get in between one of their travel routes, for example, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to be able to pattern and find a good buck. And I mean, that's just from what I'm getting after reading that. There's always a way to do something. You know, sometimes during the rut, you got a buck come in and, you know, you do what you got to do, but they may not stick around. They may. It really all depends. It seems like the older they get, the smarter they are, and they really just figure out how to, you know, get out of being where they shouldn't be. So.
How about you, Jake? What would you say? What would your big advice be?
Not sure if I'm qualified to give advice. I've just been very lucky. I am so far from having it figured out. It's you know, you learn something new every year. I listen to other hunters, other successful hunters, open-eared, open-minded on new tactics and what people are doing at the time. I've been very fortunate to kill some very nice bucks, and people can say, "Oh yeah, that guy knows how to kill a big deer every year." It's nothing more than luck. It's luck, but when you are prepared and you put the effort in, you increase your chances of having good luck. That's for sure. Much to what Justin said, I mean, coming from upstate New York, it's totally different. In New York, you have a piece of property and you look for a big buck on that property. You know what I mean? Out here, you look for a big buck, then you look for a piece of wood you can hunt him in. Places like Maine. Maine has, I mean, look at the giants coming out of Maine this past year. Oh my gosh.
Not just like rack size, but they're just so heavy.
Monster deer out of Maine, southern New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, you know, even Vermont. I know that a couple 140s, 150s came out of Vermont this year. The number one thing to do, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you got to be out there. You got to, you know, if you have the technology, use it to your advantage. Pull up maps on your computer, look for possible travel routes, find out what kind of deer are there, use your trail cameras.
Yeah, Google Maps is huge.
Google Maps is big. Look for stuff like that. You know,
If I see a piece of land I'm interested in, I'll go right home and Google Maps and look at an aerial view and just try to take a look at the terrain and see what it's got for the overlying features. But it's Google Maps is definitely a plus, and really try to take advantage of using technology as much as we can.
And you gotta, it's one of those things where I do believe that every town has a big buck. There are big bucks. Every town USA has at least one or two big bucks in them. You know what I mean? It's just how bad you want them. If you want to put the effort in to find them and dedicate your season to them, and we're men, so that means that we're very easily distracted. So, if you were focused on one buck and then another good buck shows up in the area, if you want to kill a big one, you can't split your time. I've done that. I've been after deer for a few years. I probably would have killed him if I hadn't been distracted and gone after another one. It's one of these things where it's a hard mindset. I'm far from having the mindset perfected. There are guys out there who do have it, and I listen as much as I can to them. Pick up as much as you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what then would turn you on to a piece of land that makes you want to go home and Google Earth it?
Seeing deer.
Seeing deer, but you can drive by and see it, and you just be like, man, that looks like a sweet piece. You know what I mean? But yeah, put the ground under your feet. Put ground under your feet and check it out. See what it looks like. Learn how to interpret deer sign. The size of a deer's track, the height of a buck's rub. Everybody thinks, oh man, this buck rubbed a huge tree. He must be a monster. I've seen spike horns rub trees the size of my waist. It's actually up until a few years, I never even owned a trail camera, so I never knew. I was like, oh, I was hunting bucks. I was like, oh, this buck's got to be humongous. Look at the size of the scrape. Look at the size of the rub. Then you put a trail camera on it. It's like a 3x2 with a decent spread on it, So, technology has definitely led to a lot of my success. I know that for a fact.
What's your favorite pieces of technology to employ in the field?
To be honest, trail cameras. Every day is like Christmas, man. You go out there, you check your trail camera, you bring the card home, and it's like unwrapping a present. Is it going to be a pair of underwear, or is it going to be like a radio controlled car?
Man, I get so excited too.
Yeah, well, you don't talk like you're lucky you don't get pulled over. You're speeding home so fast. You want to check those cards out.
That's right. How come everybody wants an RC car? Nobody wants a pair of underwear. Nobody wants
Fruit of the Looms. Like I've literally brought like a $3,000 DSLR in the pouring rain out just to check them in the field because I couldn't wait to bring it home.
Well, that's why I love how they have those little the SD card readers. You can just plug right into your phone now, and then you go check your camera, take out the SD card, plug it right in. You can get all your pictures you need right in your phone. You don't have to go all the way back to the house and walk back, plug in the trail, the SD card again. So it really saves you a lot of trouble and time and effort. And plus, everyone has their own gist on scent control and whatnot. I know Jake personally doesn't like or doesn't care much for, putting a scent out in the woods because.
Yeah, here's my thing with scent control. I've talked to a lot of people, and like I said, I try to listen to people who've done it, who know what they're talking about. And I've talked to a few people. A guy who owns a doe a urine company, they call it, or a deer farm, and deer are not opposed to human scent. Certain scents out there that aren't natural, they smell it all the time. You have to think about it. Unless you're hunting like the Canadian border or somewhere deep in the woods, they've smelled human scent before, whether it be gasoline, gun oil, whatever. But there are certain scents that trigger them to be on toes, and those are the scents I try to avoid. We were talking with a friend of ours yesterday who's like, I don't eat garlic all deer season.
Oh yeah, John.
I was like, I don't think I can live without eating garlic all deer season because your body, it secretes it like it's, you can smell it on your skin. I'm not giving up garlic during deer season. You kidding me? I'm afraid of vampires.
Garlic Parmesan wings.
So there's certain things, scent control. I wash my clothes at least once a week. I'm habitual about scent killing spray. I bring it in the woods with me. I spray down up in the tree stand every hour.
Yeah.
Antimicrobial stuff, the good stuff.
Sometimes I'm climbing up a tree stand. I can't help but sweat. You're climbing 20, 25 feet up.
That's because you're fat.
Wow. Low blow, Jake, low blow. Yeah, sometimes you just sweat. You're climbing up, humping your way up a tree. It is what it is, and you got to spray yourself back down because they're going to catch you. I had a doe come in this year. I was fortunate enough to harvest, but she came in about 30 yards, and she kept trying to win me nonstop. And she finally came in at like, I don't know, probably 25, 20 yards. And
did you harvest that doe?
Yeah, I was able to draw back and, I had to hold that draw for a good probably 2.5, 3 minutes until she finally turned her head and walked behind a tree, and I, sent one home to the boiler room. But it was tough. She just kept winning me nonstop, and I was glad I had, sending myself down, got rid of my scent before she came along.
All right, let me ask you this: to pee or not to pee in the deer
Not to
stand?
be.
I
Not
knew this was coming. I try to hold it, but if I have to pee, I mean, I've peed in a bottle, but I've also said, fuck it. If I don't have a bottle, I'm going to pee.
Your
It is what it is.
Your language is so ladylike.
I'm sorry. That's how we are here in New England.
No, I pronounce my R's. That's because I'm from the Empire State. So I don't believe. See, there are two schools of thought. And I've seen people say, "Well, I pee in buck scrapes," and they tear it apart. That's because urine's broken down to basic ammonia. But after a certain amount of time, if I drink my cup of dunks on the way to the stand and I pee off the stand, what's it smell like? Coffee. You know what I mean? Until it gets time to be broken down and then come back to basic ammonia. And am I saying a deer is going to be scared of that, considering I just gave a little lecture on deer used to smelling strange things in the wood? No, but if you're chasing a big buck, like a 5-6-year-old buck, do you want to have that advantage that you haven't just pissed on the ground? Yeah. It takes 2 seconds to put a Gatorade bottle in your backpack or a sippy cup,
Sippy cup. How long does it take for for your urine to dilute?
I don't know. I don't know.
You want
But
me to
if I-
Google that, Ollie? How long
Listen,
does it take?
Justin,
Do it.
I want you to pee in a Dixie cup tonight and leave it at your bedside in the morning, wake up and see what it smells like.
Oh, that smells great.
Can we rewind? You said you harvested a doe. I don't know, man. Lately I've had not issue with it, but
I slaughtered a doe.
Will, what do you say harvested or killed?
What's that?
Do you say harvested or killed? When you talk about, I harvested this turkey.
I kill it. I kill shit. I don't harvest shit. I kill
I
it.
suck. That's it. I just suck.
No, you don't suck. No, good. Well, this is funny because, look at that.
I will say harvest. I'll be like, man, that dude really harvested a nice. I say both, but when I'm talking about myself,
They're interchangeable.
kill it. Yeah.
Well, I think
I would
it
say
depends on
that.
the audience, but I just bring this up because there was, social media. Somebody had asked me about it, and there was an argument, and blah blah blah, and don't bow down to liberal media, and feel like you have to soften it up for people and say harvest. I personally feel like I kill the animal, I harvest the meat. You know what I mean? But it's just, I don't know. Do you think it's softening up the what we do by saying harvest?
There could be a lot of farmers watching this, so that's why I chose the word harvest.
I think, the way I look at it is people, like you say, they interchange the word harvest for a couple of reasons. One, they might want to sound a little more intelligent, a little more,
Which is Justin.
well, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. They might want to sound a little
I
more
said
intelligent.
Justin.
They may want to make it sound like a little deeper, or maybe it's just a term. That's what's used in their connollects, in their day-to-day life. That's what other people are saying. So you absorb words and you say it. Some people, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to offend people or make it sound as harsh as the reality is, because the reality of killing something. I mean, we've all watched something die. It's not a heartwarming Disney moment for the deer, I don't think anyone out there is gonna. I don't care how quick you could say the deer's dying or how fast or ethical or this or that. I mean, at the end of the day, that deer in that moment is doesn't care what word you're using. He's not stoked about what's going on.
Right.
It's a big scary. Well, I mean, some actually I've seen they don't even know what's happened. But for those that know what happened, it's freaking on. It's fight or flight. And in those final moments, they're. Whew.
I mean, I could have made it sound like a Boston mob movie, yeah,
Whack
you get
it.
rid of that deer. Yup, whacked it, gone.
Whack 'em and stack 'em, baby.
God.
Okay.
If it's brown, it's down, whack and
Down.
stack. Oh,
Brown.
That's a new thing on
Whack and
Facebook
stack.
too. That's a new thing on Facebook. You see, like in the group, you see BBD, big buck down.
See, I've always translated BBD to something else, so I stay away from that moniker all the
Yeah,
time.
well,
Never
if it's
using it.
Justin, it stands for Big Black Donut. He has his thing for chocolate sticks.
I do. They're pretty
The
good.
chocolate crullers, that kid melts for him.
No, buckle, knees gone, done. So good.
Pretty gross, actually.
Loves BBD.
Loves the BBD.
Love it. Eat that whole donut one bite.
If it's not a BBW, it's a BBD. The kid loves it.
So what do you use, Jake? You a kill or a harvest guy?
I'm a kill guy.
Kill guy? I think it's.
Yeah.
I mean, death is
Well, it's
inevitable, right? We're all on the same train,
Yeah.
going to the same location.
It's tough. I mean, my profession, I'm surrounded by a lot of non-hunting people, and I try to be sensitive to their to their ears, but it's kind of I don't know. You learn what offends people, what doesn't offend them. If you're offended by the word kill, then
I think people are offended by death.
Yeah.
People get offended by death. The thought of death, thought of somebody causing something's death. I mean, nobody, and that's the thing. Like you say, if you eat meat, you're part and parcel to the action going on. But for some reason, it is a big wall between, hey, the death's on that side of the wall, the meat's on this side of the wall. We don't give an F what is going on the other side of the wall. We only care that the meat keeps showing up here. Whereas a hunter is not afraid to open that door and journey to the other side of that wall and accept the responsibility and the heaviness that comes in those moments of dealing with the death on the other side of the wall.
Well, don't you know meat grows on trees?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I have a bacon tree out back.
I just found that out. He really has a bacon tree.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
Well, if you put it next to a maple tree, you have maple sugar flavored bacon.
Yeah.
The best.
I don't deal with none of that pussy bacon.
Turkey
You're all
bacon.
about that thing. Wait, you do paleo, don't you?
Yeah, I do real bacon. No, I haven't done paleo for a long time. I've done paleo, and I'll tell you what.
You realize hunters were the original paleo diet.
Yeah. There's all kinds of debates on the whole paleo thing. I think it's a matter of. I like the theory of hitting your macros, and I say theory because I'm not very good at it. But I think you need, so much carb, so many carbs, so many fats, so much protein. You try to get them from the best, most nutrient-dense foods you can. Obviously, that can be challenging to someone like myself who enjoys donuts and pizza and wings. Although, if you're trying to hit that fat, wings is an easy way to do it.
I love me wingies.
But, it is what it is. You got to do the best you can at the end of the day. And to get back to what we were saying, have you ever had, and it may have been early on, that moment in hunting where you're like, you just feel the weight of that life you just took of that animal?
Every single time.
Right before I shoot it.
Nope, every single time.
Really? You're a right before you shoot it guy, Justin. That is very... I'm the opposite. Let's put it that way. I'm the opposite.
I see blood in my... Until the thing's dead and I walk up to it, I see blood in my eyes. I want to see it dead. And then when I walk up to it, I wish I could blow life back into it and let it run off.
Yeah,
I've talked about this with a couple people who I really respect who kill giant deer. Great outdoor, people, you can kill big bucks and not be a great outdoorsman. These people are like, we're talking like great outdoorsmen. I've talked about it to them, and they both, all of us are in agreement. I hate seeing dead deer, but I love eating them. You know what I mean? It's weird. You have so much respect for an animal, and you try so hard to kill it. Every time I kill a big buck, I'm happy and proud, but then I look at it and go, I'm never gonna chase this. I'm never gonna get another trail camera in this buck. This buck's never gonna make another rub or a scrape. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm very proud and happy, and I'm good. And the deer's gonna nourish my family and myself, and these are all consolation. But I have shooter's remorse after I kill any animal, but it's short lived. It goes away as soon as I start harvesting the meat.
So Justin, what's it like for you then? Moments leading up to it.
Obviously, you got an animal coming in, and you're essentially about to take this animal out with whether it be a sharp stick or, a bullet. And it's for me, it's exhilarating and a little sad for me at the same time. I mean, I'm definitely not going to not pull that trigger or squeeze the release, but it's tough. You put in a lot of work all year, and it kind of all culminates to that moment. And it's kind of a bittersweet feeling when you know, okay, I'm about to do this. And it, it really all happens very quick. I don't think about it too much and go into it because I should retract. I do have a little bit of the remorse after as well. It's a little bit like, okay, this is about to go down. It happens, and then I'm all excited, get out of my stand, climb down, go over to the animal, and then I kind of feel a little bit of again, but it's with a mix of excitement as well, and it's just a bittersweet feeling. It's like, all right, I'm gonna put some meat in the freezer, and all the hard work has paid off throughout the whole year, and it just feels good.
So, at what point does the heaviness go away then for you?
Real quick. It's really only like a very quick thing.
Real quick, the moments before, and once the shot goes off, it's gone? Or is it once you walk up or start processing?
I would say probably when I start processing. Once I get down, I get my knife out. It's time to get to work. It's like, all right, there's no time for that, that mental thoughts right now. It's just let's get this meat quartered and packed out, and let's get out of the woods.
I'm kind of with you on that. I feel like the moment you start processing, or cutting the meat out for some reason, it seems like you're onto a different job now. You've taken off the hunter hat and you've almost put on that butcher hat to where it's like, this is back in familiar territory. This is steak. This is this. This is that. You're not thinking this is back. This is leg. This is.
At one point, I'm thinking, how much meat am I getting from this animal right now? That's all I'm thinking.
To me, the processing part is showing like the ultimate respect to the animal by utilizing I forget, somebody wrote there's different levels of hunting, stages of hunting that a hunter goes through. And when I was a youth, I just wanted to shoot as much as possible. And then afterwards, I just wanted to kill as many as I could. And then afterwards, it was just see if I could kill a big buck. And now it's kind of, and of course, you rush through the processing phase because when you're a kid, who wants to sit out there cutting up deer meat all night and this and that? You want to go out and kill another deer. But now, to me, it's a work of love. Like I feel like I'm paying due respect to the trophy that I took by getting as much meat as possible, by utilizing every bit I can of that meat, and that helps to, I say, ease the blow. Let's not mince words. We kill things to eat them. We kill deer, we eat them, we poop them out, wash, rinse, repeat. That's what we do. Yeah, it's in our genetics. So, but that being said, yeah, when you start cutting up the meat, to me, that's like it's a ritual of thanks for that animal. Kind of weird.
Yeah, you kind of just summed it up right there, didn't you? This is what we do. There's no, I guess, because we can sit here and talk fancy about it, doesn't change shit, does it?
You can be as poetic as you want, but either way, you're gonna cut them from ass to appetite, gut them out, skin them, cut it into final steaks, and you're gonna package it up so your wife, when she sees a steak, she isn't gonna look like Bambi, and she's gonna eat it.
Cuts it up. I don't have that problem. She gets.
My wife loves it.
Awesome.
If it still has fur, she doesn't want to see it. Once it's in steak form, she's happy as a clam. My daughters, my 10-year-old, my 6-year-old daughter, their favorite time in the world is when I shoot a deer and they can come out and help me. The neighborhood kids, not so much.
I can't wait for my daughter to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, ass to appetite.
Yeah.
So shifting gears a little bit, let's go fitness here. Since you've killed the mood of waxing fantastic about hunting.
Fitness in my mouth.
Let's talk about fitness. That's all Jake cares about. Fitness in the freezer.
That's right.
Let's talk a little bit about fitness, archery. Recently, I've heard, Justin, you are considering making the drive to Western PA to compete in your first train to hunt competition. What has spurred that decision?
Been kind of into the whole fitness thing for a good 10 years now, just trying to eat healthy, be healthy, and I guess live as long as I can and enjoy that. But once I got into hunting, that was that. And it was nice to be able to be in shape to, hit the woods and go on long hikes. And obviously being able to, carry out meat is a nice thing as well, having the strength to do that. And I know you guys a lot of guys out west have to prep for that all year. And I figured, hey, checking out this train to hunt thing, I know a lot of guys out west also do that, and it just looks interesting. I said, hey, why not? I don't mind competing and doing something fun. It looks like an event where people will come together and, do something that it's challenging, and I'm always up for a challenge.
How's the preparation been going? Have you been doing much specific preparation, or are you going to be gearing into that soon?
So I've always been more of like an isolation lifter, just because it's what I've known and what I learned first.
Isolation lifter. That's a good way
Yep.
of saying that. Jim Brown.
Straight up focus on a muscle and hit it as hard as you can.
Get those curls for the girls.
Yep, or for Jake, buys for the guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you strike me as a bi guy.
I'm totally a bi guy. No. As of lately, it's funny. Every year, I'm in pretty good shape. Then hunting season comes around, and I actually worse shape because I stop hitting the gym and I just continuously hit the woods, and I'm pushing as hard as I can to hunt. And it's funny, between all the holidays of Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's, I usually put on about 10 to 15 pounds. So
20.
Oh wow.
Jeez, this guy here.
We get shooting daggers over here.
I know.
But yeah, as soon as the first of the year comes, I always go back, hit the gym. And this year I've noticed with having a newborn, I got a 1.5-year-old now, it's getting harder. You don't have as much time to dedicate to that kind of stuff, and you really got to push it harder to watch what you're eating. You definitely need to incorporate more cardiovascular into your workout. So, I'm doing more power cleans now and a little bit of the CrossFit stuff, not completely delve 100% into it. I'm still, doing isolation stuff, but, it's fun. It is nice to have a different kind of workout than shock your body.
He said CrossFit.
He sure did.
Real got excited.
Here we go.
His nipples are showing through his shirt.
Hey, it's a great general physical preparedness.
I agree 100%.
If you want to succeed in a trained hunt style competition, I'd highly recommend joining Team Omega Wolf programming. Obviously, that it is more specific towards what you're going to be doing than, say, CrossFit. But I'm a big fan of anybody doing anything at all. I don't care if it's isolation lifting, marathon running, CrossFit, whatever gets you out there, gets that blood flowing, get after it. It'll guaranteed make your hunting season easier. How about you, Jake? Have you given any thought to doing any competitions, anything like that? Or
yeah, the problem is my lifestyle is awkward. I've got 3 kids. I work nights, and I don't have a set schedule. I work. My brother-in-law, as you know, is a big CrossFitter. It's his profession. He's a professional CrossFitter, and so I'll work out with him occasionally. Back when I was Justin's age, maybe a little bit younger than Justin, I was big into powerlifting. I was a huge powerlifter. Loved it. I'd go like 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, kind of nuts. This is obviously BC, before children.
BC. I like that.
And
children.
Is that what that stands for?
So, yeah, right. Actually, then when I was 27, I got diagnosed with what they call a 3rd-degree heart block. And so I have a pacemaker now. Sits right there. But when they were doing that, they found out that all the powerlifting for so many years actually did damage to my heart. So now I do a lot more cardio stuff, lighter weights, higher reps type thing. Being the lifestyle I have a gym in my basement. I don't go to a gym anymore. But a lot of my physical workout is taking my 2-year-old son, put him in the Kilty pack, and go for a 4 or 5 mile hike, and I scout. People say, "Oh yeah, I can't go out scouting. I've got my kid today." Bring him with you. I put my kid. I've been bringing my daughter, my 6-year-old, when she was up until 3-4 years old. Put her in the pack, take her for a walk, take her for a hike. It's a great exercise. You scout. Your legs become sausages because you carry an extra 40 pounds with you. That's my like go-to exercise. It's also stress reliever. You get out in the woods, you're educating your kids, you're making them part of what you do. But I do have a weight set in the basement, and that's, you know, my gym's in the basement, so that's what I hit for lifting. So I've kind of toned it back quite a bit as of late, but eating better, eating more venison, less pork rinds, you know, that kind of stuff. Everything in moderation, brother. That's what it is. Even when I was powerlifting, I was under the belief you can eat anything you want as long as you work hard enough to burn it off.
I've definitely looked into those backpacks. You know, they're definitely not cheap because I was looking into getting one for myself and my daughter. You know, she's at the age, she's like a year and a half now, and I'm comfortable taking her out into the woods.
Yeah, Kilty packs are awesome, man.
And a lot of people,
they're like $300. They're not cheap, that's for sure.
Cheap. They're real, and a lot of guys out here, believe it or not, are really into this kind of, you know, doing this kind of stuff now. You know, there's a lot of guys out west setting the example. Cam Haynes, Aaron Snyder, Gritty Bowman, Phil, Big Sexy.
Holy name drop.
running
And
the list.
guys are using fitness as a catalyst to evolve their hunting to the next level.
Jim Shockey, Eva Shockey, Michael Waddell. Sorry.
Believe me, everyone on the East Coast sees it, and I think most of the industry sometimes kind of overlooks the East Coast. But you know, we've got our own movement going on, starting up, and basically just, you know, don't count us out yet. And you look at the Super Bowl, and everyone wrote us off at halftime, and look how that turned out.
New Englanders just rubbing it in everybody's face.
Oh yeah, you got to get that last
Tom
jab in.
Brady in everyone's face.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Boston Bowhunters. It's a great Facebook group. I'm a member of it, although I am not from Boston, nor do I live in Boston. But you know, I rep the Northeastern lifestyle. Tell us a little bit about the Boston Bowhunter group and what y'all got planned. 'Cause I know you got some events, some hikes, all that stuff. Tell me about it.
So it really started off, my daughter was born last September, and right before the hunting season, go figure. I could not get out of the house really for the life of me. I just had my hands full with her, and everyone was out hunting and doing their thing, and I was just like, I got to do something hunting related. And I was stuck to my computer, and I said, all right, well, I was in a bunch of forums and Facebook groups, and a lot of these groups, there's, you know, it comes with a tough territory. A lot of these guys in here really are very secretive and about what they do in regards to hunting. And with all the newcomers that are coming along to the sport, a lot of them are getting put down and getting chastised for just asking very simple and basic questions. And I really I got to the point where I was fed up with it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to start my own group. And I don't know. I came up with a name, and that was that. And it was nice. We had a slow following to start up, and people were happy to be there. And sooner or later, we just, it kind of just grew into this snowball thing and started gaining traction. And then a lot of guys were offering, you know, real mentoring to each other. And, you know, Jake's actually a really good example of who did that. Jake ended up taking out a lot of newcomers from the group to kill their first turkeys. I mean, that's out here, I guess that's kind of unheard of to see stuff like that. You know, we have another guy named Ray Isles, and he's offered to put guys on his own stands, you know, his own tree stand. I think there was like 8 or 10 of them last year. And to be able to see something like that, it's kind of rare out here. You know, a lot of guys put in a lot of their own hard work and, you know, want to do things and keep it a secret because, you know, they want to kill that deer. And these guys have, you know, done some pretty selfless acts. So it's kind of turned into a family. And, you know, we started off with 0 people. We're up to, you know, like 2,400 people now, and there's a lot of active participants. And we actually just had our first game dinner over in February. It was nice. You know, we had, you know, we had probably about just under 200 people show up. We did it at a local shop, Reedy's Archery. That was cool. You know, it was nice enough to help us out, and everyone had a good time. We had a 3D shoot incorporated, had a steel deer shoot. We had, you know, like a catered dinner, a game dinner. That was nice. And we also, you know, everything we got from donations and from all the proceeds went to charity. There's a charity we have out here, and it's called New England Outdoor Adventures. And we, you know, we linked up with them and said, hey, we'd like to make a donation to you. And, you know, these guys, they reintroduce veterans back into the outdoors. So whether it's hiking, hunting, fishing, you know, anything outdoors like that. And that was something we wanted to align our organization or group with. So now we're on to bigger and better things and planning our next big summer event, which will be a barbecue. We're holding it at like a big wedding venue out west called Hollis Hill Farms.
And also kids. We donated a large amount to a youth archery JOAD program. That's one of my new passions. I'm going to do a lot more in the future is getting kids into hunting. I want to start doing a lot more with the youth movement in the outdoors. But that was one of our bigger donations, was to a youth archery program.
So you guys are actually working and bringing in more hunters, taking more hunters out there, showing them your spots, which isn't very common or hasn't been common in the, I guess you'd say, the hunting universe. Usually it's secret. Everything's secret. Nobody wants to take anybody anywhere. And I think that's a big reason behind a lot of the camp culture die-off. You think, the Boston Bowhunter group, you think part of this is just everybody's kind of wants to be more of a part of the go back to that kind of hunting culture where it used to be everybody was kind of together, in it together, bringing everybody in together, because we've seen the numbers dwindle. Do you think this is going to help it give that bump back up?
Well, actually, do you mind if I answer? I have to run real quick. I got to take my daughter to ice skating, but I'll interject real quick on this. I do think it's part of the one. I think it's also to do with like a new local vor movement where there's a new push to provide for yourself. A lot more gardening going on, hydroponics going on, providing for yourself. I mean, how many people have chickens that never even raised livestock? Fresh eggs. It's also about putting food on your table for yourself, healthy food. That has a lot to do with it. But I also think it's the camaraderie, want to be part of something, want to be part of a group. Don't get me wrong. We're helping people out. We're not taking them out and showing them the tricks of the trade and doing this and that. We're just getting them exposed to it. Massachusetts has a lot of public land, fortunately. But I think that's a lot of it's wanting to be part of something. But I think also there's a new generation of people who want to provide for themselves. Hunting is one way to do that. It's a way to be part of something.
Yeah, I mean, being self-sufficient is always a great thing, and it's definitely nice, with a dying tradition, with all the technology going on these days, to just see kids get outside. I'm happy with that, and if I can even help out a little bit and make that cause just where they're doing that, then I feel like we're already being successful in terms of that. It's really nice to keep the sport alive.
So, like Justin said, Jake said he's got to run, take the kids to ice skating. I know he's going to go and do a triple sow cow himself. Why don't you guys tell us where we can be able to find your stuff in the future, or any groups, anything like that, what you think they should check out?
So we're on Facebook. We have our own group. It's called Boston Bowhunter. We have we're on Instagram doing our thing, just having fun and making small connections. And look out for us on the rise out in the Northeast. We're doing our thing and setting up many.
We're also starting an apparel line called Boston Bowhunter Apparel, which we're not selling his left breast. We're the threads. It's tri-threads. The thing is like this shirt right here, feels good. It's well made. It's not covered in camouflage, but it says I hunt.
What's it say on that shirt? Maven.
Maven.
That's right. Maven.
Not Avon. There's a name in there. It's Maven. Best optics in the USA. And I'm not even sponsored by them.
That's right. A coincidence.
It's a coinkydink. That being said, we're fitting clothes, comfortable clothes, not just like scratchy stuff that's covered in camo and does real tree. And that stuff's fine, but comfortable, form-fitting, flattering clothes that you can wear that, represent you're a hunter, but not being obnoxious about it.
Boom. There it is. So check them out on Facebook, Instagram. Look for the clothing shortly. Support them. Especially if you're here in the Northeast. Look out. I know they're going to be doing some get-togethers, I think, at the Reinhardt 100 there in Massachusetts. Yep. You guys are planning an outing, a gathering there. I'll shoot together if possible. Maybe we can do something like that here in the New York State too. Get these boys to make a small trip out here. We'll all shoot together here as well.
I'm down.
Reinhardt. Other than that, check out the alphabowhunting.com. If you haven't signed up for an event already, go ahead and sign up. like Jake said, greatness attracts greatness. That's why he's wearing that Maven Optics shirt, because they are the best damn binos
Hey,
in the US of A.
take a kid hunting. Take a kid for a walk outside. Teach him something new every day.
That's right. That's right. Do that. Buy him some Maven binos, and when you do it, use the coupon code NBHGIFT at checkout to get yourself some free Maven swag. Also, if you're interested in supplement for any of these competitions, or you want to get jacked and tan like Jake and, and Justin, go ahead and enter the coupon code NBH20 at mountainops.com, and that will get you 20% off your purchase. So for now, and hopefully we'll see some of you at some of these events in the future. I plan on going, making a much bigger push here in the Northeast, get some attention drawn to these causes. So till then, work, hustle, hunt, get yourself out there, wake up, chase your dreams, repeat.